Hi, John. I'd like you to talk to me about small talk in the British culture. When do you use small talk?
Small talk is for breaking the ice, opening the meeting, setting the scene, and it's really to animate the day and actually establish a back and forth between the two parties.
Okay. So, would you use the same kind of small talk on the phone as you do when you meet people?
Meeting is probably a little bit easier. It's a little bit can be a little bit longer on telephone calls. If you ask too many open questions, it can just lead to a little bit of irritation by the other side.
Okay. So, could you give me an example how to use small talk on the phone, for example? Let's say it's Monday morning and you're calling back, or this person,
Yeah.
it's a week later after your last meeting. What would you say?
I would say, how you doing? Good weekend. So I'm just calling you about this, that, and the other.
Okay. And then you expect the other to talk to you about the
They'll say,
weekend?
I had a great weekend. The sun shone, or I held coats at a sports match, or whatever, and then into the meeting
Okay. So a
conversation.
small talk,
Yeah,
short.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Now, if you were to call somebody you haven't talked to for, let's say, a couple of months, would there be a longer small talk then?
Probably not. It'll be it's like good to speak to you, good to catch up. Hope you're well. Long time no speak. You never sent me flowers. That sort of joke if you know them well. And then off you go.
Okay. Could you give me an example of small talk on a Friday?
Friday small talk is probably more about what's happening at the weekend. You could say if it's a colleague, what a great week, what a bad week, what a busy week. You know, but then most people are already thinking about their weekend. So how's a weekend? You go to the match, you go out for dinner, are you cooking Sunday roast? Just a little bit of nonsense like that. Particularly if you've already got a bit of a rapport,
Okay.
and they've got a special football team. There's a special match coming up, or they've mentioned in the past that they're going to see Bruce Springsteen, which is 3 people this week. You just say, how was Brucey? And that's that really.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're saying that small talk is easier once you've built that rapport with the person,
Yeah, yeah,
and then you're building on things that you've heard in the past, and you can
yeah,
bring them in
exactly,
the conversation to
exactly.
make them personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. How about somebody you've never met before?
Yeah, far more general, open questions. If you're meeting them face to face, you could be in the office. You could comment about interesting building, or how long have you been here? It's a fabulous building, or this is a bit of a dump, isn't it? Wouldn't really use that particularly. Parking is always a good one. Oh, it's difficult to park, or it's really easy to park around here. Just bits and bobs like that. Then you talk about the weekend if you want, but you've really got to bounce off the other person. I can find it quite distracting and irritating if I'm on a busy Monday morning and I'm done over a minute of small talk. Yeah, you should just be able to gauge it with the person.
Okay. How about talking about the weather? How would you suggest this?
You could say, well, if you're coming in, you could say, gosh, it's windy out there, or it's really raining, or I didn't bring my coat, or, you know, I've just had to be a bit careful, or I was planning to go walking. You just throw it in there.
Okay. So imagine I'm in a French office and you're in the UK. How would you bring the weather in the small talk?
Oh, yeah, it's easy. You just say, oh, it's what's it like down there? But it's always sunny in France, isn't it?
It's very hot here.
Yeah, there you go. And I'd say, I know it's nice and grey and drizzling here. See, it's a little joke,
That's good.
and
Okay.
that's easy. It's easy if it's in another country.
Okay. So just as a resume, you said small talk shorter on the phone. It's easier if you've gathered information about the person in the past, so you bring it more personal and bring back events or things you
And
know
that
from.
actually helps in terms of establishing a building relationship. If you remember one or two, three nuggets, is their daughter a boxing champion, or he's a mad football fan, or cricket fan, or long distance runner? It just shows you take an interest in them. consciously or subconsciously, it seems to. But don't go creepy. Don't start sort of go really weird. Don't make it personal.
So the first time you meet somebody, it's important to be interested in them as much as possible.
Yeah.
So you gather those information which will help the small talk in the future.
Yeah. Some of the worst meetings I've had are people who have no small talk. You cannot get. It's just saps the soul. There was a French guy, actually. I don't think he knew the culture. And he worked for Accor. I went to see him. It must be 10 years ago now. And it was just the most excruciating yes-no meeting I think I've ever had. Even my colleague I was with, who's a bit of a veteran like me, just, oh gosh,
You mean you had no conversation
no
whatsoever?
conversation whatsoever.
And you found it really hard work?
Just can't do it.
Okay.
Just can't do
So
it.
small talk is important in British culture.
Exactly.
You need to learn
It's
to
like
do
the
it.
oil, it's like the grease which makes the world go around a bit easier.
Thank you, John. That was very useful.
Pleasure.